Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Mr. Ainsworth, and we're going to show you how to take any number here and rapidly multiply it by 15. Okay, we're going to go back though, and we're going to start by taking a number and multiplying by 15 using the addition method here, which is a method that we already know, and learn from it because there's a faster way to think about it. Okay, so we'll take a small number, a small two-digit number here, something that you can work with easily. All right, so and then we will learn from it and show you the technique. So let's take 12 times 15. All right, and let's approach it using the addition method. So back then when we did this, we took 12 times 10 plus 15. I broke this 15 up into two parts using the place value, right? That's the tens place and that's the ones place. So it's 110 plus 5. 10 plus 5 is 15. This is the addition method right here. Now, which is not the way I want to do it in this lesson. However, we're going to learn from it. In the addition method, we multiply 12 times the 10 first to get 120, and then 12 times 5, that's 50 and 10 are 60. Okay, there's your 2 by 1 right there, so I distribute and multiply it twice. But notice something here. When you multiply the number by 15, you first multiply it by 10 first, that's easy. Any number times 10 is the same number with a 0 attached, so 12 times 10 is 120 here. And when you multiply by 5, you get 60, but notice 60 is half of 120. The reason why is because 5 is half of 10. So this number here, the second product here, this is always half of the first product. It's always half of the first product. I say product because, well, that's the answer to a multiplication problem, right? 12 times 10 is 120. 12 times 5 is 60. This number here, the 60, will always be half of 120. So the technique to rapidly multiply a number by 15 is simply multiply by 10 first, take half of that product, and then add the results. Okay, so our method today is going to be this, and let's put it in red. Okay, so the very first thing what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the number by 10. So first, multiply by 10, and then secondly, okay, we're going to take half the product. Secondly, take half the product. Let's underline half. All right, half, that means you divide it by 2, right? Half the product of your first answer, whatever step 1 is, right? All right, and then step 3, you got to add the results. Because 120 plus 60, well, guess what? I didn't finish the problem. That's 180. All right, so third, add the results. And you can do that in your head, all right, because it's going to be fairly simple. So add the results. Something that you guys are going to be able to do in your mind most of the time, unless the numbers get freakishly big, all right, which they're not in the beginning because we're trying to learn the idea behind it. So I'm not going to take anything too gnarly. All right, so we're going to step it out, and what we're going to do is we're going to take the number times 10 first. We're going to take half of it. We're going to write those two results, and then we're going to add them in our mind. All right, so here we go. Let's take I don't know 34 times 15. All right, and let's step it out. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take 34 times 10. Okay, that's 340. Now we're going to take half of that and we're going to add it to this. Okay. Now half of 34 is 17. Now if you don't know that, you think half of 300 is 150. Okay, because it's 340, right? So half of 300 is 150, or half of $3 is $1.50. Half of 40 is 20, and 150 plus 20 is 170. That's another way you can figure it out. Or you can ignore the zero here, ignore that zero, and take half of 30 is 15, half of 4 is 2, 15 plus 2 is 17. All right, and then you attach a zero to it. And then you add the results. 300 and 100 is 400, and then the 40 and 70 is 110. 400 plus 110 is 510. All right, and that's how you do it here, okay? Then of course you check as you go, and you're gonna take out your calculator, put it off to the side, and of course you do everything in your head first. All right, anybody that's gonna study correctly is gonna do it mentally first, then check with the calculator. So 34 times 15. All right, you check your results, 510. Boom. Now you're saying, okay, Ainsworth, that was too difficult. Well, all it takes is practice, guys. All right, and you have to do it the right way a bunch of times, kick in your previous methods when you need them, all right? Because you will need them. And then you're going to get good over time, okay? Let's do another one. Let's try 28 times 15. All right, 28 times 10 is 280. Half of 280, half of 200 is 100. Half of 80 is 40, 140. So I see 200 and 100 is 300. I see 80 and 40 is 120. So 120 plus the 300 is 420. All right, then of course you check, right? 28 times 15, boom, you get 420. And it just goes like this. I don't care what the numbers are. So let's practice with some other numbers. So 117 times 15. Just go for it, okay? 17 times 10 is 170. All right, half a 100 is 50. Half of 70 is 35. And then 50 and 35 is 85. Okay, now we got 170 plus 85, so we know over 200. So it's 200 and something, right? The 70 and 80 is 150. So I know I already have 250, and that ends in a 5, so 255. You're going to be able to do that in your head as long as you practice. So, but right now we're just stepping it out on paper. We're going to, oops, you got to push the right buttons here. So plus, no. Let me type it incorrectly here. I apologize. There we go. Got a little distracted. You get 255. So a few more times. Let's take, I don't know, 24, let's say, times 15. All right, 24 times 10 is 240. Half of 24 is 12, so half of 240 is 120. And you get 360 there. 200 plus 100 is 300. 20 and 40 is 60. You get 360. And then you check it. 24 times 15. Boom. 360. That's all you have to do is multiply by 10, take half of that, and add them together. It is a 3-step mental process right there. So remember when you practice here, you always, all right, do it mentally first. All right? So mentally first, all right, then check it with a calculator. All right, if you don't do it that way, you're not going to get any good, and you won't be able to do this in your head, which was what I expect you guys to be able to do. All right, this works, of course, for 3 and 4 digit numbers as well. It's just a little bit more difficult. Okay, the difficult part is taking the half part, and then of course adding the two things in your head. But that's one way you can do it. Okay, and this will lend into my next lesson too. So master this first, and then I'll see you in my next lesson on how to multiply rapidly by maybe 15 or 1500 or 150 or 0.15 or 1.5. Okay, this is Mr. Ainsworth signing off. Bye bye.